Look, 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 look. Finally got it done. Bucket list accomplishment. Escape Alcatraz Triathlon done. I thought I'd take this opportunity kind of go over a little bit on run form that enables you to take on an event like Escape from Alcatraz with some serious bike hills and some serious hills on the run, the sand ladder. Basically, it's a hill, it's just straight up. Allows you to shave off 30 minutes of your flat mile time when you're running out, when you're running back in, to allow you to do 7-minute miles running back in. I'm not bragging because I think I'm special. I just use the tips that I actually learned from a clinic put on right before Ironman Boulder 70.3, learning a few tips about run form. So I thought I'd kind of share some of my little tips as I've used it, incorporated over the years. It kind of helped me keep that efficiency so you can utilize your speed, and your limiting factor is only your fitness. It's not going to be muscle fatigue. Believe me, I was fatigued, but once you get to that flat surface, if you're doing your run right and efficient, you should be able to keep that speed, whatever your speed is, without falling apart and be able to get to the finish line. So I had 7 kind of tips, kind of lean at the ankles. I got pictures of Miranda Carefrey, Matt Hansen, Craig Alexander. As you can see, I kind of emulate their run forms. I like their run forms. I may not look like as pretty as their run forms, but it kind of gives a good example. You're leaning at the ankles when you're pushing off. So you're not leaning at the waist. You're not bent over at the waist trying to get that forward lean to help you gravity pull you along. So you want to fall forward on the run. You do that with the lean at the ankles. You're keeping a straight line of your body line. You're keeping that center of gravity just a little bit from your feet, which forces your feet to land in front of you and land flat. You can't lean forward and have your foot outstretched all the way. There's just not enough physics to give you enough time to make that happen. It forces your feet to kind of land there. So it takes away that thinking of, well, I got to land flat-footed. Lean forward the ankles. It'll force you to land flat-footed in front of you to catch your body as you're falling forward on the run. Think of your waist as a bowl of fruit not spilling. So if you look at most of these runners, they're not totally leaned over and they're not bent over at the waist. They're keeping a nice upward waist. It's level. So if you think their waistline is kind of a bowl of fruit, you don't want it to spill over. So it's a little bit forward, but you see some runners and they're just totally bent forward and they're killing their back. So you want to keep your waist as a bowl of fruit. Think of doing a hula hoop when you're moving your waist around. You're always keeping your waist kind of level with the ground. Center of gravity out in front, force the feet land on the body. So that's with the forward lean and the lean at the ankles. You're falling forward. You're letting gravity kind of help you along, especially if you're going uphill. Last thing you want to do is kind of hunch back and you're kind of leaned over and you're running like this. You're kind of looking up. You're kind of head a little bit tilted down. I think that's going to be no, it's not one of my tips, but you're kind of a little bit below neutral. You're kind of looking down. You're having your center of gravity pull you forward. Good arm swing, but not crazy. So if you notice our arm swing, Matt's a little compact. So is Miranda. Craig's a little bit more down, but you don't want crazy arm swings. Baby, top of the chest, middle of the chest. He's a little bit more compact. Craig is when he kind of hits that top. So whatever you do, don't get wild and crazy. Don't swing it way back because you're just wasting energy flinging your arms around. But you do like a nice kind of boost as you run along to help you kind of pick your feet up when you're running. Push off with the rear leg. So if you look at all these runners, they don't have that they don't just pick up their foot and bring it forward. They're actually pushing straight-legged off the back. So that's making your glutes kind of fire, pushing off the ground, getting that electric while gravity's pulling you forward and pushing your body forward. Actually makes you go faster without the increase of needed fitness to force yourself to run faster. So, and it also kind of makes your cadence kind of happen. I always try to keep my athletes, above 80 RPM when they're running. And this kind of form, this leaning forward thought process, kind of makes that happen naturally. No matter if you're running hard, you're running slow, you're running easy, whatever. As long as you've got that forward lean, you can kind of lean forward or lean back a little bit and get in that cadence kind of faster or slower depending on where you're leaning. But you want to push off of that rear leg and really get yourself moving. Pull knee hip height when swinging arm forward. So they don't have it too tall. I don't know if it's kind of in the right spot on the runs, but you want that knee kind of hip height. You don't want it really low. You see at the end of the race, a lot of people just barely getting it up there and flinging an arm forward. And in order to get that front forward foot to land flat-footed or even far enough to make it most efficiency, to make the most gains out of the run, to make it more efficient while you're running, to get the most distance, you want to pull that leg up so as you're moving forward, and you got that forward lean, your foot is going forward, and you're getting as much distance out of that. If you're just kind of trudging along and you've lost all form whatsoever, you know, it's just, you gotta, and this involves the core muscles, it involves the hip flexors, so you gotta be good in doing your strength routines and all that to be able to withstand, especially, you know, Ironman distance runs. You gotta be able to have muscle strength in order to keep that front knee up, and you wanna just kind of limp it along. So those are 7 quick tips. I'll probably put together like a little webinar going more in depth about it. I've got slideshows, all kinds of good stuff. I can keep talking, but just want to go over my 7 tips for races, for running, to keep that technique going, because it definitely helped me escape from Alcatraz. You know, I think it was 1,900, 1,800 feet of elevation gain straight up on some spots on a bike ride. But then to come through and I felt strong at the end of the run, and I based that purely on efficiency factor of just being able to focus and keep that form. It also keeps your mind off the suffering as you're trying to run through and get your best split times as well. And as you're looking around, you know, as Alcatraz, you're looking at the Golden Gate Bridge, kind of distracted, but it also keeps you in a good spot, and you can actually pass people towards the end of the run, which feels better than kind of breaking down and letting people pass you. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you later.